High in the Whisperwind Mountains, nestled among peaks that kissed the clouds, lay the village of Skyhaven. This village, perched on the edge of the world, seemed to float between the heavens and the earth, a place where the sky met the land in a harmonious embrace. It was a place untouched by time, where life moved at the pace of the seasons. The villagers marked the passage of time not by clocks or calendars, but by the blooming of flowers in spring, the golden harvests of summer, the falling leaves of autumn, and the silent snows of winter. The villagers lived simple lives, their days filled with the warmth of the hearth and the bounty of the earth. They farmed the fertile soil, tended to their animals, and gathered in the village square to share stories and laughter, their hearts bound by a sense of community and tradition. They believed in the old tales, whispered by the wind through the pines. These stories, passed down through generations, were woven into the very fabric of their lives, guiding their actions and shaping their beliefs. One tale, more legend than truth, spoke of the Starborn prophecy. This prophecy, etched in the pages of ancient books and whispered in hushed tones, foretold the coming of a child who would be born under a celestial event of great significance. Every century, as the crimson comet Aethra blazed across the night sky, a child would be born under its fiery tail. This comet, a harbinger of change, painted the sky with its brilliant hues, signaling the birth of a child destined for greatness. This child, touched by the cosmos, would hold the fate of the world in their hands. The villagers believed that the child would possess powers beyond their understanding, a gift from the stars that could either save or doom their world. They would either become the world's savior, their heart brimming with the light of 1,000 stars, or its destroyer, consumed by the comet's fiery wrath. The prophecy spoke of a choice, a path that the child would have to walk, guided by their heart and the forces of the universe. It was under one such crimson sky that Celeste was born. The night was ablaze with the comet's glow, casting an ethereal light over the village and filling the hearts of the villagers with a mix of awe and trepidation. The villagers, ever watchful, saw the comet's tail streak across the heavens and held their breath. They knew that the birth of a Starborn child was both a blessing and a curse, a moment that would change their lives forever. As Celeste drew her first breath, a star detached itself from the comet's tail, plummeting to Earth like a teardrop of fire. This celestial event was seen as a sign, a beacon that marked the arrival of the prophesied child. It landed near the village, pulsating with an otherworldly light. The villagers, fearful yet curious, gathered at a distance, their eyes fixed on the glowing object that seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the universe. No one dared approach the fallen star, except for Celeste's mother. Driven by a force she could not explain, she walked towards the light, her newborn daughter cradled in her arms, her heart filled with a mix of fear and determination. She held her newborn daughter close, whispering, "You are special, Celeste, you are loved." Her words, filled with love and hope, seemed to resonate with the light, as if the universe itself acknowledged the bond between mother and child. And so, Celeste grew, unaware of the prophecy, oblivious to the destiny woven into her very being. She was a child like any other, her days filled with the simple joys of life, her heart unburdened by the weight of her fate. She spent her days exploring the whispering forests and sun-drenched meadows, her laughter echoing through the mountains. The villagers watched her with a mix of love and apprehension, knowing that one day the truth of her birth would be revealed and the prophecy would come to pass. Years tumbled into years, each one bringing subtle changes to the world around Skyhaven. Like pebbles down a mountain stream, each moment flowing into the next, shaping the landscape of time. Celeste blossomed into a young woman, her heart as wild and free as the mountain winds that swept through the peaks. She possessed an unquenchable thirst for adventure, her spirit yearning for something beyond the familiar embrace of Skyhaven, a place she had always known. Then, on her 16th summer, the sky ignited with a brilliance that had not been seen for generations. Aethra, the crimson comet, returned, setting the heavens ablaze with its fiery trail, a sight both beautiful and terrifying. The villagers whispered in hushed tones, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and trepidation as they recalled the ancient legends. They looked at Celeste, their eyes filled with unspoken questions and a sense of foreboding, wondering what this celestial event meant for their future. That night, as Aethra blazed across the sky, Celeste felt a stirring within her, a deep primal awakening that she could not ignore. She was drawn to the light of the comet, her feet moving as if guided by an invisible hand, leading her towards an unknown destiny. She reached the edge of the forest, her heart pounding in her chest, the air thick with anticipation and the scent of pine. The fallen star, dormant for 16 years, erupted in a blinding flash of light, illuminating the forest in an otherworldly glow. Celeste shielded her eyes, her body trembling with a mixture of fear and excitement, unsure of what was to come. When the light subsided, she saw a figure standing before her, ethereal and shimmering, like a being from another realm. It was the Star Guardian, a being of pure energy, its voice resonating within her very soul, filling her with a sense of purpose. "Celeste," the Star Guardian boomed, "the prophecy has come to pass. You have been chosen. You are the Starborn, destined to either save or destroy the world. The fate of all rests in your hands, and your journey begins now." Fear, sharp and cold, shot through Celeste. Save or destroy? The words echoed in her mind, their weight threatening to crush her. She was just a girl from Skyhaven, a girl who loved to climb trees and chase butterflies. How could she possibly hold the fate of the world in her hands? The Star Guardian sensed her fear, its voice softening. "Do not be afraid, Celeste. Your journey will lead you to Astralis, the celestial city. There, you will learn of your true destiny." Astralis. The very name sent shivers down Celeste's spine. It was a place whispered about in hushed tones, a city that existed both in this world and beyond. It was said to be the gateway to the stars, a place where magic and reality intertwined. With a heavy heart, Celeste bid farewell to her family and friends. She promised to return, but the words felt hollow even as they left her lips. She knew in her heart that nothing would ever be the same again. Her childhood, filled with laughter and sunlight, was over. She was the Starborn, and her journey had just begun. Section 4. The Mountain Path. Guided by the Star Guardian, Celeste set off on her perilous journey to Astralis. The path was fraught with danger, winding through treacherous mountain passes and dense, shadow-choked forests. Creatures of darkness lurked in the shadows, drawn to the power that pulsed within her. Celeste fought with a ferocity she didn't know she possessed, her fear giving way to a fierce determination to survive. She learned to harness the power within her, the celestial energy of the fallen star flowing through her veins. With each passing day, she grew stronger, more confident in her abilities. Along her journey, Celeste encountered others who had been touched by the prophecy, both friend and foe. There was Kalen, a young mage with eyes as blue as the summer sky and a heart filled with kindness. He had been waiting for the Starborn, his destiny intertwined with hers. Then there was Anya, a warrior princess with hair like spun gold and a spirit as fierce as a raging fire. She wielded a sword with deadly grace, her loyalty to Celeste absolute. Together they formed an unbreakable bond, their fates intertwined. Section 5. The Oracle's Vision. After weeks of perilous travel, Celeste and her companions finally reached the foothills of Mount Celestia, where Astralis was said to be hidden. The journey had tested their endurance and resolve, but the sight of the majestic mountain filled them with renewed hope. The air crackled with magic, the very rocks humming with ancient power. It was as if the mountain itself was alive, whispering secrets of old to those who dared to listen. As they ascended the mountain, the air grew thin, each breath a struggle. The higher they climbed, the more the landscape transformed, becoming increasingly surreal and otherworldly. Finally, they reached the summit, where a shimmering portal awaited them. The portal's light was mesmerizing, casting an ethereal glow over the entire peak. This was the gateway to Astralis, a swirling vortex of energy that pulsed like a beating heart. It seemed to beckon them forward, promising wonders and dangers in equal measure. Taking a deep breath, Celeste stepped into the unknown, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt a mix of fear and excitement, knowing that this step would change her life forever. Astralis was like nothing Celeste had ever seen before. The city was a blend of the fantastical and the divine, a place where dreams and reality intertwined seamlessly. Towers of crystal soared into the sky, their spires piercing the clouds. Each tower seemed to hum with its own unique energy, creating a symphony of magical resonance. Waterfalls of liquid starlight cascaded down the sides of floating mountains, their gentle roar echoing through the city. The light from the waterfalls bathed everything in a soft, otherworldly glow. Beings of light and shadow moved through the streets, their eyes filled with ancient wisdom. They seemed to glide rather than walk, their movements graceful and fluid. They were led to the Oracle, a being of immense power who resided in the heart of Astralis. The journey to the Oracle's chamber was filled with awe-inspiring sights, each more wondrous than the last. She was ancient, her eyes holding the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. Her presence was both comforting and intimidating, a reminder of the vast knowledge she possessed. She looked deep into Celeste's soul, her gaze piercing the young woman's very essence. It was as if she could see every thought, every fear, and every hope that Celeste held within her. "You are the Starborn," the oracle intoned, her voice echoing through the chamber. Her words carried a weight that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of the universe. "The prophecy has foretold your coming. You are destined for greatness, but the path you must take is fraught with peril and uncertainty. But the path you must take is not yet clear. You will face many trials, and the choices you make will shape the fate of the world. You hold within you the power to save the world or destroy it. The balance of light and shadow rests in your hands, and your journey has only just begun."